a little bit of a different theme this week, which is more about protecting your energy. We've been doing a lot around boundaries lately, and so I really wanted to do something that's along the same lines but different because the truth is, as you set boundaries, you will also need to develop practices that allow you to be in uncomfortable situations and scenarios. And I don't think that we've really at all been taught how to navigate those situations. And the most powerful way to navigate those situations is energetically. So emotionally, we haven't necessarily been taught what to do about them, but we also have not been taught what to do energetically, which is actually the most powerful of all of the ways that we could navigate uncomfortable situations with family members that we feel like drain us, or just people in general that drain us, or that we feel like um, we saps our energy or creates a trigger within us, anxiety, fear, whatever it is that comes up. That's what we're working on today, is learning how to navigate our energetic field so that we can at least start to stay within a state of peace. It's not going to be something that happens overnight. And this is what I always say about these practices, is that they are practices. They're practices that you need to commit to regularly in order to see the results. So being able to navigate your energetic field, being able to manage your energetic field is a skill that you need to commit to practicing. And you can navigate it in a way where you learn to be at peace within your environment, no matter what is happening in your environment. And that's just a matter of skill development. So welcome everybody, and I'm Ocean Everly. I am teaching energetic protection today. So if you want to learn about that, stay tuned, because that's what we're talking about. I think that oftentimes we see that family members are the people in our lives that can really trigger us the most, because we have shared history, shared trauma with them, and they're a part of our original trauma. And I'm talking about your family of origin. So that would be parents, siblings, anybody that you grew up with. They know how to get under our skin, and not necessarily because they want to, but because they just do. And what I want to say too is I understand. Oh, thank you, Andre's Creations, for the likes, my dear. Yes, please do like and share the live if you feel like this is an important conversation. Um, what I also want to say is that, we are navigating a really interesting space in our human development right now, where a lot of people are navigating this question of, how do I have healthy relationships with my family? And if I can't feel safe in a relationship within my life, then I need to cut that relationship out. Then I need to cut that person out. And that's a question that a lot of people are navigating right now, without the knowledge that there's so much more within that. There's so much more that needs to be done. This is a very black and white way of looking at something, that either I feel safe or they're out. And really, the gray area in between is the opportunity for skill development for yourself. Because the truth is that you don't have to cut out every person who you don't feel safe around. What the relationship often is providing you is an opportunity to learn the skills to feel safe in any environment around any individual. I'm not saying to be around people that are abusive, physically abusive. If you feel like you're actually in harm's way, then of course that's not an individual you want to be around. But I think that a lot of the ways in which we classify people as like emotionally and verbally abusive are actually their own wounding that's coming out at us that we don't know how to defend against. And so it feels abusive because oftentimes we've taken it on for a very long time as children and even as adults. So the goal, though, is that We don't need anybody to be different for us to feel safe. We don't need anybody to act a certain way. We don't need anybody to say certain things. We don't need anybody to be any other way than they actually are in order for us to feel safe. That's the goal, because you know what that equals? That equals freedom. Freedom means that you don't allow anything outside of yourself to affect the inside state of being. And that requires skill development, because that is not something that we are inherently born knowing, and it's not something that we're taught in traditional society. The question of cutting people out because we don't feel safe with them, because we don't feel emotionally safe, is more so of a question of, how do I get to a place where I feel safe no matter what? And that means that you have to face yourself more than anything, because you have to face the hard truths and then develop practices to support yourself. Today, we're talking about energy protection. Hey, Kay's World, good to see you, my dear. Welcome back. Because energy protection, it's not, if you're new here and if you haven't seen my Feeling of Feelings practice, go to my YouTube that's linked here and do the Feeling of Feelings practice and start there. Good, I'm glad you're here too, my dear. Because that's the foundational practice. That's the foundational practice of everything. That's the foundational practice of feeling free in your life. That's the foundational practice of feeling liberated from anxiety, from fear, from hurt and pain. That's the foundational practice to connecting with your purpose in life, to connecting with your authenticity and what you're here to achieve in this incarnation. So it really matters that you do the Feeling of Feelings practice. Um, that is a practice whereby you feel your feelings. um, and not only do you make time and space to feel your feelings, I show you how to do that, because a lot of people are like, well, what does that mean? How do I do that? Okay, that's what the practice does. It shows you exactly what that means to feel your feelings, and exactly how to validate the feelings for yourself, because the validation is just as important as the feeling. Okay, but today we are going to talk about energy protection, because when we are setting boundaries, when we are trying to navigate challenging relationships, we must have a practice and a tool for being able to be in uncomfortable spaces around people that trigger us, while developing the practice of staying in our peace. Now, if there are people in your life who you feel really trigger you, this should be a practice that you do. I think at first it should probably be every day. Um, Definitely if it's like leading up to an event where you're going to be around this person, then you should be doing this practice every day to prepare. Um, if it's somebody that you see every day, then you should do it every day just because you see them every day, until you get to a point where you don't need it. And by the way, before we move into the practice, I also want to say that everything that I talk about, all these practices, are permission slips. If you watch anything by Bashar, you know this term permission slips. It's essentially that all of the power is already within you. You already have the capability to do everything that I'm teaching you how to do, but the practices give you permission to step into that version of yourself. And once you have mastered that version of yourself, you don't need the practice anymore. Or you need it less. More typically, you would need it less. Uh, and then perhaps eventually not at all, but like I still use these practices, aside from really the energy protection one, actually, because that's one that I have uh really embodied. Um, but it was absolutely necessary when I first started doing this, because I didn't think it was possible to be in the same room or be around people that triggered me. I didn't think that it was possible. I thought that I had to choose to not be around them in order to choose my own peace. And the truth is, for some people, yeah, the reality is that I don't choose to be around them very much at all. but I also don't want to be scared to be around them because that is not freedom. Being scared to be around certain people because you're afraid they're going to trigger you has more to do with you not knowing what to do with the trigger than there being a problem with them, because they're just being themselves. And there's a lot of other people in the world that don't get triggered by them. So you get to explore that part of yourself and help that part of yourself learn to feel safe. Okay, Kay's World said, oh, thank you, Claire, for the follow. Had quite a reactive day, embarrassed for reacting. Sometimes my feelings are just overwhelming. Going to look into that. Okay, great. Yes, look into the feeling of feelings practice, because it's totally understandable that you would feel embarrassed, like we're not perfect beings. And one of the things with the feeling of feelings practice is that oftentimes we're really pressuring ourselves to be perfect in a lot of ways, to show up perfectly, to be perfect, because that is part of our trauma. We were supposed to be perfect children. And so not living up to your own standards of yourself feels really hard and embarrassing or shameful. Perhaps you feel guilty. Perhaps you feel disappointed in yourself, whatever it is. And the feeling of feelings practice is really important in those circumstances. It all goes hand in hand. Thank you, Aya Post, for the follow, my dear. Okay, so let's do the practice, and then we can talk some more. I want everybody to close their eyes. Take a breath through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. If you're not sitting up straight, sit up straight. Take another breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let go of the tension in your face. Let go of the tension in your brow. Allow your forehead to relax. Allow your eyes to relax. Allow your jaw to relax. And keep breathing in. And breathe slowly out. When you breathe in, I want you to breathe into your stomach so that your stomach inflates out. And then breathe into your lungs. And then breathe out. Now, I want you to see a white light that's coming down from above you. It's coming down from the sky, from your guides, from perhaps your family members who have passed, from God or whoever. It's coming right straight through into your crown. And as I'm speaking, I want you to let go of the tension in your shoulders and just relax your body. Imagine the light is coming down through your spine, and then gradually it fills up your whole body. Breathe in and breathe out. Now imagine that this light contracts into your core, right above your belly button. You can see this bright light coming from the core of your body, above your belly button, below your ribs. This is your core star. Imagine this bright light now. It's going to start expanding again, but it's expanding in a circular shape in a ball that's expanding on every side of you. So it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's extending outside your body, extending, extending, extending. And now it's extended 6 feet in every direction around you. This white light ball that now is encompassing, holding your body. And this light that came down from the heavens is peace. It's injecting you, your entire body with peace. And that's what it did when it filled up your body. And now it's expanded outside your body so that 6 feet in every direction around you is also filled with peace. Take a breath in through your nose and breathe out slowly through your mouth. Let your shoulders slump. Let your eyes and your brow relax. Feel what it feels like to let go of the weight that you've been carrying. Feel what it feels like to feel peace in your body. Put your attention on your throat. Feel it relax. Put your attention on your chest and feel it relax. Take another deep breath in and allow your belly to expand. And breathe out slowly. Now you are in your bubble of peace. And I want you to repeat out loud. In my bubble, I am at peace. In my bubble, I am safe. In my bubble, I am fully seen, fully heard, and fully understood at all times. And in my bubble, there's nothing to change. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to do. I can just rest in peace and be. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Now imagine that you are going into a triggering environment around a triggering person. Think about somebody that has been really hard for you to be around. And imagine whatever that space is, if it's their house or if it's somewhere else, imagine that you're about to go into that environment. But before you step in there, you stop, you can feel in your body, you feel the tension, you feel the constriction, the restriction that you feel in your body of the anxiety. And you stop and you take a deep breath. Another deep breath. One more. Now, before you walk in, you close your eyes. You picture the white light coming down from the heavens. You picture it congregating right at your core star, right above your belly button. And then it all of a sudden bursts out from you. It expands, 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 so that it encompasses 6 feet around you in every direction. You are in the middle of your bubble. Breathe in. Feel the peace as your bubble contains you. This bubble is impenetrable. Nothing can get through it. That means that when you are around people that say hurtful things or that do hurtful things, it comes towards your bubble and it bounces right off. It can never reach you. Nothing can reach you inside your bubble except for peace and love. In your bubble, you are completely at peace and in your power. In your bubble, you don't need them or anyone to see you, hear you, or understand you, because you are fully seen, heard, and understood in your bubble. There is nothing that you need to change or fix outside of your bubble because it cannot affect you in any way. You are safe. And repeat out loud with me. In my bubble, I am completely safe. Smile to yourself, knowing that it's true. In my bubble, I am completely at peace. And feel the peace in your body. Repeat, in my bubble, I am fully seen, fully heard, and fully understood at all times. And in my bubble, there is nothing to change, nothing to fix, no one to change, no one to fix. There is nothing to do. I can rest in peace and just be. And now, imagine yourself walking through the door and going into that environment. You're in that space, in that place with this person, and imagine them doing the same behavior that has triggered you in the past. What is it? Do they criticize? Do they dismiss? Whatever it is, they do it. And you watch from inside your bubble. but you are apart from it. Imagine it being aimed at you, but it comes towards your bubble and it bounces right off. Because you are energetically protected. You are safe. Breathe in and out. And imagine yourself in that space and smiling lightly to yourself because you know what they don't know. And that is that your energetic bubble is protecting you from anything and everything, and that there is no possible way they can move you from a state of peace. You are too powerful. Take a deep breath in. Breathe in peace. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. And you may come back. Keep breathing. Even as you come back. And let me know how that was for you. Drink water. Take a moment to sit with yourself, breathe, and let me know in the chat how that felt for you. What we're doing here is we're providing ourselves the safety, the safe environment that we weren't given, that we weren't taught how to create. And when you teach yourself how to create that environment, you become the most powerful person in any room. Because that means that you can access that peace and that power at any moment, at any time. That you don't need people to do anything around you, that you don't need anything to be any particular way, and you can still access that peace. Because what you're actually doing is you're embodying peace. You are being the peace that you seek. You are being the peace that you cannot find in certain people around you. It was never their job to be that peace for you. It was your job to learn how to embody it, how to be the peace. Let me know if you have any feedback, and please do also like and share the live, my dears. And please do also let me know if you have any questions on energy protection or on anything else so that we can discuss that. But a lot of what I talk about is related to feeling of feelings, which is emotional management, and it's related to energetics because emotions are energy. And so we need to, it's kind of the first step in learning how to manage our own energetic field. And this is a little bit more advanced, what we've done today, which is to learn how to navigate the energy field all around us to create safety and peace and ensure that nothing can change our experience of our reality. And so if you haven't yet, check out the Feeling Feelings practice. I also have a feeling rage, anger and rage practice. Those are more foundational. But learning about energy is probably the most powerful thing that you can do as a human being, because everything is energy. And when you learn that you can affect your body from an energetic standpoint, you don't always need to go to the emotional parts once you are more advanced. So let me know what questions you have. And if you would like to answer the prompt, feel free to do so as well. Now, one of the things about our family of origin is that they oftentimes are the ones that are able to push our buttons the most. They're the ones that trigger us the most. And they're meant to trigger us the most, unfortunately, because they're meant to be our teachers in how to access the power and the peace that I am teaching. So the truth is that without them pushing you to a place that feels really uncomfortable, you wouldn't learn the tools that you need to be able to access that peace at any time. When you have the power to access your own peace at any time, no matter what's going on around you, you have a superpower. And that superpower will allow you to do anything and create anything, manifest anything in your life. So it's also the reason why it's important to disconnect from things outside of you that create the anxious or fearful experience or angering experience for you, like the news, like different areas of social media or social media in general. Things that pull you out of a state of peace are oftentimes not the things that are going to, well, they're never the things that are going to bring you towards peace in your life, because that's inherently incompatible. And so when you really start to take accountability for your life, you start to blame less the things outside of you that create that anxiety or anger feeling, and you start to take more responsibility for what you're doing, how you're choosing those things. And just in the way that you can choose social media, or that you can choose to watch the news, and then that maybe provokes you to feel anxiety or anger, same way you can choose to be around certain people and engage in certain relationships in certain ways that can cause you to feel the same way. It's not that that thing is inherently bad, it's that your energy is telling you this is not right. Either this thing's not for me, or this thing in this way is not for me. And you need to start listening to that. You need to start setting boundaries for yourself. That's the whole boundaries conversation, is taking more accountability of your life, taking more accountability of how you're showing up in your life, of what you're choosing in your life, and choosing different things, choosing peace for yourself, choosing to love yourself, and choosing to learn the skills that you need to choose peace. So, what questions do you have? Because otherwise, I'm probably going to sign off pretty soon, unless you have questions. I will post this live on my YouTube so that you can access it at any point and redo the practice. I think I have at least one other video where I do the practice as well, the energy protection tutorial. So you can refer back to it, but it is a practice that needs to be done regularly. if you really want to feel the kind of peace that you want for yourself. And look into an energy healer around you if that's something that feels like it's of interest. Okay, since it doesn't seem like there's any questions, I think I will sign off for today, but I am sending you all so much love and so much light. And I hope that you have a great week. I'll be back on Tuesday next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you. Bye.